For 24 years, America never gave a damn about 9/11. That all changes now. That changes now. Finally, maybe they're waking up. And thanks to Tucker Carlson and others, maybe. Let me tell you something. I know about that. You don't even know half of the stuff I know about 9/11. That was my red pill moment. That's when it changed. That's when everything in my life changed. I was here on that Tuesday morning, as was my wife, and I can tell you stories. I have been screaming about that. And you know what they did to me? You know what they did? They shut me down. They called me a conspiracy theorist. They go after you with Wikipedia. They say you're getting too close to the truth. So what I'm telling you right now is those folks have not gone away. So I say, bring it on. Good for you. But get ready. They're going to go after you like you can't believe. They're going to call you nuts. And one of the biggest problems you're going to have is dealing with the torpor, this inertia that people have. They don't really want to get involved in this. You think you want to know what's going on. I want to know what's going on. But they don't. Look at John Kennedy. There's still pockets of people who say, well, you know, what are you going to do? 9/11 is so unbelievable. And the reason why I never got over this was two things. Building 7 and Shanksville. Building 7, we got to start off with this. This was a building that was hit by nothing and it fell. You know all the stories. Not one person ever explained to me how carpet fires ever did this. And the NIST report was a joke. And there is so much information of experts, architects and engineers from 9/11 Truth, Richard Gage and others. I was a part of a program at Cooper Union. There was a fellow from the University of Alaska or something who basically, he looked like your grandfather, and he came up with this computer breakdown. It makes no sense. It was free fall. And you know about the BBC. You know how they announce it ahead of time. Maybe that was a mistake. I don't know. When was the last time somebody ever mistakenly predicted a building falling down? One in particular. Remember, it wasn't just building 1, 2, North Tower, South Tower. There were like 6, 7, 8, all kinds of properties. And this woman on BBC happened to say, oh yes, the Solomon Brothers. Boom. That's one thing. Building 7, that may be yours. But for me, the Holy Grail is Shanksville. Shanksville. Let me tell you what happened to me. This is my story. Right after, remember, I'm in New York at the time. I'm on the air. People are freaking out. I'm living in a world. It's almost like a Twilight Zone. It's a movie set. I can't believe what's happening. It was so surreal. The smells, the death, the everything. It was ungodly. You have no idea. To be here. I'll go through some of those others. But that day, that beautiful morning, it was so perfectly blue. Anyway, when I was on the air talking about this, and remember, Google was sort of like, pretty, coming along. It wasn't like it is now. Somebody said, hey, did you see, what about Flight 93 in Shanksville, Pennsylvania? Shanksville. What? I said, what Shanksville? I didn't know anything yet about the names of the places, about the Pentagon and North Tower, South Tower, Building 7. Remember, those were the sites. North Tower, South Tower, Building 7, and then Shanksville, Flight 93, and the Pentagon. That's it. The rest is all, okay. So at the time, I said, wait a minute, let me see, just a minute. You say building in Flight 93, so I'm looking at my pictures, I'm looking at my stuff, I'm looking at my the Google photos, and I said, I'm sorry, what am I looking for? They said, it's a plane crash. I said, I don't see a plane crash. I don't see one. Look for yourself. Go look for yourself. Look at what it is. It's a dimpled, divoted little nothing. It's this, a couple of, I don't know what it was, steam. Look, I'm not going to put the picture up. Go look for yourself. A couple of guys wearing white. They were like a fire truck. There's no plane. No plane. No 6-ton titanium engines. No wheels. No fins. No ailerons. No stabilizers. No people. No luggage. No nothing. 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 But they said that's where the plane crash was. That's where Flight 93 just disintegrated. But yet, as I'm reading, 7 miles away, 5 miles, 6 miles, whatever it is, New Baltimore and Indian Lake, that's where the debris field was. And you know what people said? Well, it was windy. A 6-ton or whatever it is, titanium engine is going to float? What are you talking about? They just never talked about it. Remember that one flight, the one plane that was flying over? Oh, my God. Look. So at the time when I said, excuse me, I said, where's the plane? And a caller said, what are you getting at? And that's when I was introduced to the conspiracy theory. I didn't even know what it was. I'm a lawyer. I'm a former prosecutor. I think kind of surgically in a kind of a linear way. That's what I think. And how can I not say, what about the plane? Where's the plane? Where's the goddamn plane? And they said, what are you getting at? And that was the first time I had a glimpse of what it means for you to question anything. So let me tell you something, Tucker. Remember this. Take it from me. You can have all these people on, and you're going to, here's what you're going to do. You're going to have a guest on here, a guest on there. Have on Richard Gage. Have him on. What angle do you want? You want to go thermite? You want to go all that stuff? Go ahead. Knock yourself out. You want to go for the fact that fires burn for days and weeks afterwards? How does that work? You want to look, I can give you 50 different angles. But prepare yourself. Stick with it. Don't do one little video and say we're off to the next. Now we're off to Charlie Kirk and who's the shooter. And then we're going to go off here. Because you have to saturate people. You have to stick with it. You have to focus. Maybe have a separate channel. We have to also, and listen to me carefully, we need to have what was called a Russell Tribunal. We need to have a means by which we can take our message on the road and have people buy tickets. You know how you have a Turning Point and various whatever these things are. We need to have people to show up for 9/11 symposia. Bring all the people on. If you want to bring the refuting evidence, good. Bring somebody from NIST. Have them explain to you how carpet fires, how a desk on fire can bring down the third steel structured building in free fall speed on its own or in its own footprint. Free fall, meaning there's no resistance. There's no resistance. If there's 108 floors, and let's say the top it goes dump, and it's not supposed to do that. When a floor is, I don't know, catches a fire, it doesn't collapse it because the building can support the weight of the floor, whether it's intact or whether it's broken. It doesn't matter. It held it before. That building took 108, I keep saying that, maybe it's less, but 108 floors. So you attacking one, burning it, destroying it, is not going to have it lose its structure at floor 3, 4, 5, 6. They're intact. They're able to handle that weight. Look, I'm not a physicist. I'm not a structural engineer. I'm not an architect. You don't have to be. You don't have to be. Jurors who decide the fate of murder, complex litigation, they're not either. They're not either. These are regular people. So don't give me this nonsense about, well, I'm not an expert. You don't have to be an expert. You don't have to be an expert to know whether somebody's pregnant and somebody's dead. You can pretty much see sometimes, depending upon the case. All right? So we need to do this all over the country. This has to be the biggest thing. Listen to what I'm saying. This has to be Tucker Carlson takes this on the road. I volunteer my services. Put this on. Have one day, but you have to have 4 or 5 of these over and over again. You'll just flood the interest levels. People will be just absolutely just taken aback. You have to do this. You can't just do a video and say, well, I hope you find this interesting. No, it doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. I'm sorry to tell you this, but it doesn't. I know what I'm talking about. And let me tell you something. When you get into this and you find the number of war games and simulations for what that day? Hijacked planes. Isn't that amazing? On the day of this hijacks, there were war games that day. So a lot of the forces were diverted elsewhere. And it also makes it very difficult when you say, hey, there's a hijacked plane. I know this is part of the drill. No, this isn't part of the drill. This is no, for real. No, I understand. No, I'm not saying part of the, I'm telling you, this is it. See how that works? It's brilliant. Brilliant. There's so much to this. Have Mineta ask about the stand-down order from Cheney. Look, I can go through a million of these things. Those are little parts. But it comes down to structural engineers and the physical evidence. That's the part that's critical. It's the physical evidence. That's it. That's what you got to worry about. That's what you focus on. So Tucker, good for you, my friend. Even the young Turks are doing it. Good for you, Jake and Anna. God bless you. But keep doing. But don't do a little hors d'oeuvre. Commit yourself or don't bother. Because America has the attention span of a gnat. And unless you do something harsh and really knock their dick in the dirt, they're not going to get it. Trust me.